Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That would be Perez. I think we've got a good one today.
I wouldn't describe our show like that today.
Why not?
Well, because that would leave an unsavory taste in my mouth.
Why?
Because the way you described it, it reminds me of what I said in that Framing Britney Spears documentary back in 2007. Britney being bad is good for me. And I cringed watching that old clip of me. So you can describe our
I'm just talking about this show. I'm
Okay.
just thinking it's going to be a good show today. That's all. You don't need to read into it.
Well, okay, fine. I'm just saying
I have my
would
Britney shirt on. I mean, come on.
All right. I would not describe it like that. We will be talking about Britney, and there's a lot of other things to get to as well. But you know what? I need a Vizzy right now.
I had a few Vizzies this weekend.
I could really use my Vizzy.
I like the watermelon one. That's the good one for me. The watermelon, it's strawberry watermelon, I believe. Very good.
They have these like mixed flavors. I love it. Like black cherry lime, strawberry kiwi, blueberry pomegranate. Vizzy is a hard seltzer that's, to me, neither hard nor a seltzer. It's just like a carbonated alcoholic deliciousness. And it truly is Perez approved. I've drunk and enjoyed Vizzy in some of my vlogs. You can watch that on my family YouTube channel. Try it out for yourselves. You can find out where you can purchase Vizzy's limited edition Pride package or any of their other refreshing flavors. Go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com/Perez. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/Perez. You must be 21 and over. All right. Let's just get right to it.
Okay.
In a way, the last week is reminding me, and there's a parallel to what Chrissy Teigen has recently been through. And you asked me last week if Chrissy Teigen is loving all of this. And I answered the way that I thought she would be feeling. And if you didn't hear last week, go and catch up. I found myself in the middle of this whole Britney. Actually, pause. I wanted to make a note. I'm so exhausted today. There's so much I need to say. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, because it really has been weighing so heavy on my heart, the just awfulness that happened in Surfside, which basically is like Miami Beach, and keeping all of the families and friends and loved ones in my thoughts.
Awful.
People from all over the world are affected, from South America, from all parts of the United States, Latinos, Jewish people, everybody. It's just, and as the days go on, it just gets worse, and keeping everybody in my thoughts. I could not stop thinking about it since it happened. Okay. Britney. I found myself in the middle of all of this. And I'm being very sincere here. I wish and would rather not have. I wish and would rather that instead of people being angry with me, that they would be able to let me move on and acknowledge that, yes, that's who I used to be, that person that they're upset at, but that's not who I am anymore.
Okay, but could those people just be looking at it like, look, Perez, the damage is done. It'd be better if you truly cared about Britney, don't talk about it.
It's my job.
No. Just say my website will cover it, but I'll step away because I've done the damage. Why wouldn't you just do that? And I think people are more upset that you've inserted yourself into this. You're doing press because of this. A lot of this stuff, you're generating more revenue over this. I think that's the point of view some people are taking. And there's just dumb people that just want to be online and call you names because that's what the internet is for, calling people names.
I disagree. I mean, look at the perfect.
All I'm saying is you could take yourself out of it, is all I'm saying. All you would have to say is, no, I'm not going to do press. I've done enough damage. Because obviously
I don't think me
other people. That's your opinion. I'm giving you other people's opinion. Other people would say, why don't you just if you truly cared about her, why don't you just step away from it and say, hey, look, my website and the people I pay, they're going to handle the news aspect of it. I'm going to stay out of it. That would take yourself out of it.
Because I don't think I've been doing things in a hurtful way when I've been doing press over the last few days.
Hurtful to you or hurtful to the fans? It's hurtful to some of the fans because they feel that you've been horrible towards her, and you, even though your behavior may have changed, you see what I'm saying?
And those same fans, to those fans that are hurt by me, to those fans that are, sorry, today's a hot mess. My nanny just texted me. Okay. To those fans, today is such a hot mess. All right. Those fans that are upset at me because I'm doing press are also upset at Justin Timberlake because he tweeted a message of support for Britney Spears.
Right.
Perez, do you think those fans should be upset at Justin Timberlake?
Perez, you know what I think of those fans. I think they're the dumbest fucking people on planet Earth. And you've heard me say this before. What? Those aren't fans. These aren't people that have her well-being in mind. I want you to get through the news because I do have my 2 cents on this, but I'm just asking you. You're getting off of the question.
Okay, I will answer your question. The reason I have done press is because no matter, I view it like I truly don't think I'm hurting anybody. And no matter what I do, I lose, I think. Especially because if people are spreading false info, it was important for me to do because I keep hearing, or like seeing the media, Perez is long overdue apology. He's finally apologizing. So it's important for me to do this and to keep apologizing because clearly people haven't heard it or they haven't heard it enough or they need to hear it again. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And another thing, these people that are hurt or upset, no matter what I do, they will be upset at me. Mm-hmm. If I gave away every single dollar that I have earned, they would still be like, that's not enough. They would still be upset at me. So I don't see how going on a TV show and
okay, well, I just told you how I think that they think that you're profiting off of this.
I'm not getting paid for those interviews.
Well,
I'm using it as an opportunity to apologize again because it's important and that needs to be done because clearly people haven't heard it, like I said, or they want to hear it again.
Right. Like, I think it's the business aspect of it that you're generating. I'm not generating anything. But if there's more eyes on your Instagram, if there's more eyes on your Twitter, if you're trending.
My Instagram is not monetized. My Twitter is not monetized. I have a tip jar on Twitter. I didn't receive a single tip over the last week.
That's funny.
I'm not directly profiting from this.
All right. Well, let's get to the news. Okay. All right. I'm just, look, there's that point of view that needs to be said because I read that.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that point of view.
Okay. So, no one's asking you to. Yeah. I'm just asking why you don't just say, you know what, I'm stepping away from the story because I do agree I have caused damage. I'm apologizing for the last time, but my website will cover it. And her name is not going to be on my tongue anymore because I feel weird about this.
Well, I don't think me talking about Britney Spears is causing damage. I don't. Or to her fans.
Listen, dude, I don't disagree with you at all. I don't care. Once again, I don't care what those dopes think. Most of those people are dopes.
Well, did I directly answer your question?
I asked, you answered. I got an answer.
All right.
By the way, this isn't me telling you you should do that. I'm asking why you don't. I've read this. Why don't you just do that?
Haven't you seen all the articles or all the people or me trending on Twitter? It's like, he's apologizing now. I've been apologizing for years and years, and in writing on my website, in my memoir, on YouTube.
Okay, but they're not paying attention to you. Like at one point they decided that they didn't like you and they're like, I don't follow you. And now there's this new story and they're like, why is he interjected into this story? And then they're just pissed all over again because once again, they're dopes.
Well, not even dopes, like a lot of journalists and important blue checkmark people.
Perez, that is their business. It's commerce. It's them writing articles and stories and getting hits, and it's all business. Britney this T-shirt is business. It's all business.
I was going to get to that. You know, I think one of the reasons why I was getting like accountability and even a dislike of me, holding me responsible, blaming me, all of that is fine. But the reason I think I got such intense hate, like people telling me to kill myself and, you know, the dumb jokes mocking my physical appearance and all of that. People want a villain and they want somebody to blame, you know, whether it be her father, although everybody already blamed the dad for a while. Now I'm the new person to blame because I really wasn't featured heavily in that Framing Britney Spears documentary. And because, you know, instead of blaming the media or blaming the paparazzi, they can blame me, an individual. Although I do find it interesting also, like, you know, Harvey Levin is an individual. And I would say he is responsible for
his website's not called harveylevin.com. It's called TMZ. That's just, but
he's the face of it on the TV show.
You are the name and the source of, so if we're going back to the salacious times of at the beginning of all this, you were the guy and your name is that. Well, I agree, but your name is the website that was the number one offender.
I would say TMZ was equal.
Well, you know, did TMZ call Britney names or did they just report the things? That's the point.
They had the paparazzi outside her house, camped there. They were reporting all of these things. They were creating the narrative or whatever it is. I would say that TMZ, I mean, I'm not saying that because they did that, I'm any less culpable. Right. I'm not saying that either. So anyways, let's get to everything at court. Or should we I'm just going to fucking jump around.
Whatever you think. However do you think we could, let's not have a 4-hour show.
No, we're not going to have a 4-hour show. I'm looking at the clock. We'll get into the specifics of what she said, but I'm curious to hear your take right at the top.
Oh, you want to hear it? Okay.
Because I've been texting you over the last week and I'm shocked.
I kind of got the feeling you wanted me to save it for the show, so I did.
Well, I'm a little bit shocked over some of the things you told me. So why don't you tell everybody what you're thinking?
I don't recall any of the things I've told you to be shocking, but here's what I'll say.
Here's the big thing that's reverberated in my mind that you said, which is you said you don't know if you believe Britney Spears.
Yeah. I can address that in what I'll say. There's two ways to come at this from.
Okay.
If you would like me to start from the compassionate side, I'll start there. Or if you want me to start
however you want.
Okay. Let me start from a place of compassion. Mental illness is a strange Baskin Robbins of different flavors and things that can happen to an individual. Different grades of schizophrenia look different. Your reality looks different to different people. Okay. So I think that I don't know because I'm not a doctor, nor is any other dipshit that's been commenting on this and saying she should be this and she should do that. Nobody knows, because one thing I learned from that, we don't have an answer to what is she, quote, suffering from? Why is she in a conservatorship? Like, why is she there? That's the big underlying question.
Remember, one of the things that was unearthed in that Framing Britney Spears documentary is that when initially filing the paperwork for the conservatorship, her father 13 years ago claimed dementia.
Okay. Okay, well
then after that, she went.
That's one thing though, Perez. That's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that's all she suffers from. And by the way, back to Baskin Robbins, there's 32 different flavors of that as well. Mentally, you're getting me off track here.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
My point of view is her words and what she said, whether they be truthful, skewed, whatever they are, that is her reality. And that's sad. It's really sad. The things that she had to say were very sad. I don't know how much of that's based in reality. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. I can't dice that. I couldn't possibly do that, nor could anyone that's speaking on any of this. They don't know what's going on in her head. Just because they heard some words come out of her mouth doesn't make everything she said reality. It just makes it her reality. And her reality to me was sad. And I felt badly. I was like, man, if half of this is true, as laid out, then this sucks. This really sucks because that's what she thinks. And God, you'd hate to see any human kind of go through that. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is, when you're talking about mental illness and people, and I don't know if that's what we're talking about here, because no one has come out and said exactly what it is, except for that, a period of dementia in a fucking documentary that was made to make money. I don't know what I don't know what to believe from that. I have no idea what to believe from that. I don't know is what I'll say. I don't know. But with mentally ill people, and if you know anybody that has mental illness, or if you've been around families that have it, people can be lucid and they could be seemingly fine 1 minute. And then the next minute they burn down the house or their home gym, or they do other things that could possibly hurt themselves. There's 1.3 million people in our country that are in some sort of conservatorship right now. I don't think it's 1.3 million people that have some crazy family that wants to hold them down. I think it's probably more likely it's 1.3 million people that are worried about someone's well-being at the end of the day. That's it. That's all I have. That's all anyone has, because nobody knows. Just because she spoke, it just made me feel really badly for that girl. That's it. Buy a t-shirt. It's what I always say, because you don't know. All these dopes running around are fucking morons. Nobody knows. None of you know, because no one has come out and told us. I don't know what help she needs. Do I think she should just be running around willy-nilly if she could possibly hurt herself? I don't know if that's a good idea either. I think a judge and some professionals will have to dice that up. The rest of us, we're just talking to talk. That's it. That's what I think.
Well, she herself in court last week said that she's...
Do you understand that her reality may not actually be reality? I'm just asking you to maybe accept that could be a thing. That her reality,
no, I believe.
So you believe every word. Okay.
I believe.
Then why is she in a conservative? Why her dad doesn't live with her?
A few reasons why, to be honest. Well, I can acknowledge that maybe not everything, but I do believe that almost everything she said is true, if not everything. Why, you ask? Well,
I think that is a silly point of view, because you don't know what her diagnosis is. You have no clue. You are guessing, and Dr. Perez is saying, well, she said she's okay. She's okay. You know how many mentally ill people think they're okay?
Okay.
And I'm not saying she's not, because once again, I don't know either. But I got to say, this wasn't like her family put her in cuffs and stuck her in a corner. There's medical professionals. There's judges. There are people that do this for a living that decided, hey, maybe for her best well-being, this is the best idea. And that's it. That's all I know. And everything else is just, you're just guessing. You're not a doctor.
The system failed Britney Spears. Her lawyer failed Britney Spears. That judge failed Britney Spears. Why? Britney said herself, but first of all, it's one thing to watch a documentary and read an article, because before the court hearing, the day before, the New York Times released this explosive report where somebody leaked them all this private information about Britney's case. It's one thing to read or see something, but to hear Britney in her own words.
Raz, you're not a fucking doctor.
All right, let me
You're
finish.
a doctor dipshit if you think that is the fucking reality. You can't, the only person you should listen to is a doctor, and and I'm not even one of those. You can't assess this.
I let you
You're
talk
not
for a while.
qualified.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
But it's just silly.
Hearing her, it really was eye-opening, because I believe her. And also what she said is backed up by facts. She showed up in court, and this has been proven, in 2019 and asked for changes to be made to her conservatorship, and nothing happened. She's been wanting to get out of this conservatorship for a while. She also revealed that her lawyer, who is a court-appointed lawyer, did not tell her that she could file a petition to...
Does that make that the truth? Do you actually believe that no one along this way said, hey, you could just file a petition to get out of this? I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't know that. Do you actually buy that? Because I don't. Not even this much. I don't buy it. I don't. And I think it goes back to things that I do buy it. I do buy it. Okay, well, that to me is a sign that you shouldn't be talking about this that much, because you don't have any backstory other than what just came out of her mouth. You don't know
anything either to not believe her.
Thank you. You finally said it. No, I don't know anything either. Either do you. You know as much as I do.
And you're saying you don't believe her. All right.
No. Stop right there. I'm saying I don't know. No. I didn't say that I didn't know. No. I said her reality may not be the reality that is actually presented.
You're trying to rewrite. You literally a minute and a half ago, you said, I don't believe that she'd never been told that she could get
that part. No, I don't believe that.
Okay,
go ahead,
that's what you said.
Prove it. Yeah, no, I said that. I thought you were saying I don't believe her in any. Her reality is her reality. I believe that. Right. I believe she believes every piece of that. Whether it's true or not, I'm just going to say I don't know. I'm not saying for fact that you are. You're going. Okay. I believe her. I'm saying you should stop.
Okay,
because you don't know.
Let me. Okay, so let me go on. I think if she's describing her reality, if she is describing this experience as abuse, which she did, and traumatizing, then I think serious changes need to be made, because a person should not live that way. Could you agree on that?
100%.
Okay.
No matter what, this has got to be looked at differently, because back to my point of compassion at the top, if she thinks, whether it's true or not, any of this stuff, whether she thinks an ounce of it is true, something has to change, because whatever they're doing isn't working. Because that poor kid looked like she was in like a lot of pain. She looked like she
says she's crying every day.
Yeah,
she's depressed.
I believe it, because if that's her, once again, I don't know if it's her reality. If that's her perceived reality, that sucks. It sucks. And God, they got to try something else. Now, I have no clue if it has anything to do with ending a conservatorship or just letting someone walk around with their free will. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, nor is anyone talking about this. That's I guess my only point in all of this.
All right. Well, I will say this. You shared a statistic, which I don't know where you got that number from.
CNN, but they could be fake news, as Trump says.
All right. That's a very large number of people that are under conservatorships.
1.3 million people.
That's shocking.
That's an insane amount that blew my mind away when I read it. I've read a couple of articles about this, and I just keep circling back to the same thing. I can't, no one can possibly know what's going on with her, truly, even her.
Well, I will say this: if there are 1 point some million people in a conservatorship, there are way more people with severe mental health issues that are not in a conservatorship. And like I've said before, when talking about this,
well, those people may not have the resources that her money and family.
Well, it goes back to the money, and that's disappointing. You know, she wants to marry this boyfriend of hers. It's been a boyfriend for many years. Why can't he be her conservator then? Or why can't he just be her husband and help care for her if that's what needs to happen? Why? Oh, because of the money. You know, she says that she feels taken advantage. She said it may not be true, but it probably is.
Now you're using words that you should be using. But it
probably is true. I do believe her. I believe her. You know, her dad is on the paycheck.
Doesn't her dad live in a trailer in Louisiana or something? Isn't he like
I don't
almost
know.
Out? Okay, well then that's another point. I mean, people acting like he's got her caged up in a house. Didn't she go to Hawaii the day after this whole thing?
The number
no
is
one's answering the questions that need to be answered.
Then she did go to Hawaii. Yes.
Okay.
The number is a public record number. I think don't quote me, but it's close to $200,000 that he gets paid a year. So that's not chump change.
Okay. Well, there's probably a lot of paperwork that goes into the money that flows through Britney Inc., whatever the hell it is. Yeah, somebody is in charge of it. And I guess he is the one. And at $200,000 for an artist that generates that much, I got to think there's a lot of commerce in business and a lot of time consuming things. Whether it's fair or not, I don't know. I don't know what his day looks like, and nor do you, nor does anyone.
What is really sad,
people act like he's living in the Taj Mahal and, you know, eating fucking grapes on her dime. Isn't he? I'm just going to go back and ask you the question. Isn't he living in a trailer park in like Louisiana? Know. That's what I heard, like in a trailer in Louisiana. That? Yeah, I read that somewhere too. But once again, I don't know what to believe anymore. I have no idea.
Anyways, what was really crushing to me is that Britney feels that her entire family has let her down. Mm-hmm. Not just her dad, you know, her mother, her brother, her sister, to feel that alone. She said it. There was even one point where she said she didn't want to hang up. You know, all of the lawyers were there on Zoom, but Britney called in and we didn't see her. We only heard her. And mm-hmm. she said that she didn't want to hang up because when she hangs up, she feels so alone. They even keep her boyfriend away from her at points and keep her children away from her. And I can't even imagine what that must be like. Some friends have come forward since then saying that, you know, the conservatorship has kept them away from Britney.
This is a lot of circumstance. This is, you know,
it's awful.
Once again, we're diving into bullshit.
Some
could be true. Some could be not. Like I said, the next day she went to Hawaii.
And that's a good thing. She's always been able to go on vacation.
Okay. I still circle back to, I don't know what's wrong.
All right.
I don't, nor do you, nor does anybody.
I'll ask you this. Britney has schizophrenia. Should she be able to get out of her conservatorship?
I don't know. I'm not a judge. That's the answer that everyone should be saying. You shouldn't have an opinion on this. You're not a doctor. I would say, hey, Einstein asking me that question, whomever you are, you're not a doctor. You don't know the situation. You're guessing because you saw someone speak for fucking 20 minutes. Come on, man.
I think it's her life to live, to enjoy, and to make her own mistakes. She clearly is suffering.
What if they're mistakes that could hurt other people? What if she accidentally burns the house down and kills her kids?
That's how everybody lives.
No. I don't have a mental illness, so I have a balance where I say, you know, if I take this match and I light something up, I have the mind that tells me not. Maybe not all people do. And I don't know how to judge that or dice that up. All I'm saying is I'm sure a professional has. And a professional has decided this is what's best for maybe her family, herself, other people, neighbors, well-being. I don't know. I just don't know. And nobody else does either. It's not clear at all. None of this is clear because you see somebody speak for a couple of minutes.
It's clearly not working as well as it could or should.
I will agree to that. But maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Is there a way that it works at all? Is there a way that a person that suffers from something can see the world in a normal way, that they're going to find happiness within it? Is it possible? I don't know. I've never studied this stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I do go back to one of the big talking points that the Free Britney movement said. You know, if Britney is so mentally incapacitated, then how is she able to perform her Vegas residency for so many shows? How is she able to go on multiple tours? How can she
multiple levels of mental illness?
If a person that has,
like I said, there's some people that could have a completely normal conversation. You would say, that person doesn't seem to be mentally ill. And then they can burn out a house 5 minutes later. I mean, it's an understanding that you're trying to comprehend from a normal brain. Okay. This isn't a normal. And by the way, I don't know if hers is either, because once again, nobody's told me. Nobody has said, hey, here's the problem. No one has. No doctors come out and said, hey guys, this is the timeout, everyone. Here's the real situation. Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. A professional, not a family member, even a professional come, and they don't have to do that. There's nothing that says that anyone has to do that. So she has the right to her privacy. So what if that person existed and came out and said, listen, here's the deal. She's and this needs to happen. Now that's what the judge in the court is supposed to do.
Well, I don't trust that judge. That judge is shady, because the New York Times, subsequent to the court hearing, released test.
Who do you trust? So you just trust her and that's it?
No,
you're just going to be like, I took a speech and I'm going to take it for face value and say that there couldn't be something else wrong.
Let me finish. That judge seems shady to me, because the judge previously told Britney's court, and also that I'll get to that. The judge previously told Britney's court-appointed lawyer, oh, maybe you shouldn't tell Britney Spears this one thing. Like the judge purposefully trying to keep Britney in the dark about certain aspects of everything going on. That's shady to me. Also, why?
What are we dealing with? Why would he say that?
Okay.
Do you think he's part of some mass conspiracy? Do you think she's part of some mass conspiracy that she's? You sound like these dopey Free Britney people.
I'm also like, why is Britney not able to retain her own lawyer? Why does she have to have a court-appointed lawyer? Can you say that at least that should be able to happen? No? Because
maybe, once again, maybe she suffers from some sort of mental illness that they said, this isn't going to work this way. Like, Perez, this isn't all like willy-nilly. Like, okay, I don't know. To me, it sounds like you sound like you sound like a conspiracist.
No,
like one of these people.
Not.
I don't. I just see it for what it is. I think this is. I think this person has some problems, and some people are trying to look out for her, including the state, including judges, including family, and everybody's seeing it a different way. That's the way I see it.
So you're clearly not believing a lot of things. She claims.
No. I'm not. But once again, quit saying I don't believe. I keep saying the same thing. I don't know, nor do you. That's all I keep saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying everything that came out of her mouth could be 100% truth. It could be. I don't know. That's what I keep trying to say. And nor do you, and nor does anybody else. Okay, good for you. Okay, good for you. So
she claims that she wants to have another baby, and they forced her to put in an IUD, like this semi-permanent form of contraception. Do you think that that's going too far?
I don't know. I'm not a judge. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I would never. It's a woman's body, and
and she's not able to do with it what she wants.
Yeah. Look, none of this is great. Once again, back to what I said. Anything, even if that's truth, not truth, it sucks either way. It sucks that this is a conversation. I don't know. But I'm not going to come out like a fucking fool and say, well, she should be able to. I don't know. I don't know what she suffers from, nor do you or any other dope that acts like they should. I don't know why a doctor would do that. I have no clue.
I'll go back to what I said a couple of minutes ago. She has this wonderful, loving partner in her life that she wants to marry and have a child with. Let her live. And if things aren't working well, her husband can help her. But no, the dad or the conservatorship doesn't want her to marry because then they won't have control over her and her money.
Once again, is that fact?
What she said,
no, she said, right. But does that make it a fact? I don't know. Nor do you. All I know is the next day they hopped on a plane and went to Hawaii. They seem to have
how does that change?
Because they got free will. There seems to be some free will here, and we're being told that there's none.
That's not what she said. I'm
not saying what she said. I'm saying this. I'm saying
she even mentioned how they would use that against her, saying, "Oh, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, we're not going to let you go on vacation to Hawaii, where she loves to go." So she does. If you pay attention, you know that she goes.
I am paying attention. It's just, this is so much speculation. And
what do you mean? She literally spoke. We're hearing from her directly, and you still think it's speculation.
Once again, who didn't we hear from?
We heard from her father, who released a lame ass.
Who didn't we hear from? A doctor and a qualified medical physician giving us an explanation as to why he, she, whomever believes that she needs to be in a conservatorship. The family doesn't decide this. The state at this point is deciding this. We're not hearing from them because she has privacy. That's the truth. Everything else is speculation outside of that. That's it.
Okay, well, I will go back yet again to what I said. Okay, she has schizophrenia. She has crippling mental illness. Her husband that she wants to marry, her husband to be, should be able to take care of her.
Okay. Who's arguing against that? I'm not arguing against any of it. I'm just saying, I don't even know that to be true.
That would make her happier, and she would feel like she's not living this half life.
Okay.
Anyways, her father afterwards released a statement, which it's something. He said, quote, "Mr. Spears is sorry to see his daughter suffering and in so much pain. Mr. Spears loves his daughter and misses her very much."
That sounds very sweet and to the point. And also says, outside of this, none of this is any of your fucking business, is what it says to me. Same message I give to the dubs. Buy a t-shirt. You don't know. You don't know if he's being true. It's like you've bought into this, like this fairy tale in a tower thing that the fucking father hates his daughter or something.
I never said that.
Okay, but some people are like, back to your point. There's got to be a villain. There's got to be a villain.
No, I said
you said at the beginning that there has to be a villain. Well, no, and I think he's been made a villain in this.
No, I said I've said the opposite of what you claimed many times, that back in 2007 and 2008, Britney's life was heading in a very dangerous direction. And I do think, everybody says, "Oh, why did no family member step in?" Well, her dad thankfully did step in back in the day. And I think potentially saved her from an early demise, from death.
Okay. So let's say that back then, and you're looking.
But it's 13 years on from that. And what may have worked.
Maybe it doesn't cure her.
What may have worked for a while isn't working anymore.
Well, that we can agree on, because once again, if that is her perspective on things, that sucks. Sucks. But anyways, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm not willing to assign blame. I think that mental illness is mental illness.
It's a lot of people's fault, I would say that, for not either caring or just, I don't know why, because it's clear that for many years now, she's wanted changes to be made.
Okay, but let's say her mental state of mind is that of 2000, whatever year you said, 7. That's what's going on the inside. So this is a culmination.
She didn't sound like that in court.
So what? She can speak English. What the fuck does that mean? I don't even understand what that means. That's just,
to me, she sounded very lucid, clear.
Big deal. What, did we ever think she couldn't speak English?
Well, watching some of her Instagram videos, it felt like a completely different person.
Okay, so there's a good point. I think you just contradicted yourself. Some of her Instagram videos that she pressed send on and recorded herself, I think came across as peculiar, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And who I heard in court was somebody else.
Okay. So there you go. So there's two different people that have been presented to you. Which one is she? Maybe her reality is she's both.
Well,
and maybe someone, a judge, a doctor decided that, hey man, there's a lot going on here. Let's protect her.
She said afterwards that she didn't reveal her truth and what's been going on because she was embarrassed and ashamed, and she didn't think that anybody would believe her. She even mentioned that during the court hearing. She brought up the Paris Hilton documentary where she made allegations against her former boarding school, Paris did. And Britney's actually, a lot of people are seeing this two different ways. Let me read to you exactly what Britney said, because I can only interpret this one way. Britney said, to be honest with you, the Paris Hilton story on what they did to her at that school, I didn't believe any of it. I'm sorry. So because she did not believe Paris, she thought that people would not believe her either. Is that how you read that statement?
Yeah.
Okay. And that, they could be friends and they are friends, but you could still not believe that one thing. Anyways, my heart goes out to her. My heart goes out to her children. Like, can you imagine what her kids must be going through?
I can't. How old are they?
Like, I guess 13 and 14. Not.
I would say older. No. K-Fed and her. God, that seems like a long time
or
ago.
14 and 15.
Okay,
because the conservatorship started 13 years ago, and she already had her both kids then. So it's probably 14 and 15. I'm guessing 14 and 15.
Okay. I don't know. That's the whole thing. Must be very confusing and very.
At 14 and 15, even the children of celebrities are normal kids who are on TikTok or this or doing that, are surfing the internet or watching TV. Like, anyways, it's all sad and unfortunate. And I don't think I have anything else to say about it. Do you?
No.
All right. There's still a lot more show to get to. But first, I need some hydrant when we're done with this, because
you really do. You need to take a bath in this stuff right now.
I'm feeling really parched. Truly, I am feeling parched.
Well, you've been going at it all weekend. I've seen you talking here, there, and everywhere. You're probably at your wit's end. You're very emotional about this. You get very emotional the more tired you get too.
I am very tired.
You are. I can tell. You look it.
Thanks. I am.
I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way.
No, I am. I am.
I just know you're exhausted. Yeah.
Well, it's hard. I stopped. We'll get back to hydrant. I stopped checking my mentions on Twitter. Except for the verified mentions. I would check those still because I'm OCD.
Those check mark people mean something to you?
I don't know. I was just checking them. It's like a habit. It's hard to go cold turkey and completely give up a habit.
I can understand. You are unable to check out. It's not in your DNA.
Yeah. I would say this, I even though I wasn't directly checking all of my Twitter replies or mentions, I know what people were saying, and I would sometimes see them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect me.
It does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I believe it does. I believe you care about people and what they think of you.
No. It doesn't affect me. It just drains me. So
well, that's an effect. Sure. Come on.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's draining, but it doesn't make me feel bad about myself, or more bad than I already feel about what I did or about my past.
Yeah.
It really, what happened last week with the public's reaction to me, it's not like that trigger, and we'll talk about this later, or we'll talk about it now. Or we'll talk about it later. It's not like it triggered me into this depression, right? It's not like it sunk me into this darkness where I was having suicidal thoughts or anything like that. It's just exhausting, draining. And I need hydrant. Oh my God. I really need it.
I knew we'd build that bridge eventually.
I need more hydrant. Hydrant is a refreshing drink mix powder made with 4 key electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. It's good for you. They've also come out with Hydrant Sleep, which is a new bedtime mix carefully formulated to promote restful sleep and hydration. And it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love it, send Hydrant back for a full refund. And we've got a special deal for our listeners to save 20% off your first order, or subscribe and save 30% on your first subscription. Go to drinkhydrant.com/Perez and enter our promo code Perez at checkout. That's drinkhydrant.com/Perez and enter promo code Perez at checkout. All right. In like regular news, thankfully.
In lighter, fluffier news, hopefully.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Show's over, everybody. By the way, we had more calls last week than I think, and it was great too, because typically we'll get a maybe a call to action, like, "Hey guys, what do you think?" You'll ask a question or something. I'm serious. Almost every topic we did on last week's show, which tells me last week's show must have been pretty good. Every topic, there was a litany of calls. So I apologize if we don't get to all of your calls or most of these calls, but some great stuff. So thank you all for participating. I just wanted to say that they're not falling on deaf ears, and I'm not like trying to keep people's calls off the show, but thank you for the calls and some great points and good stuff.
Well, we're growing the show on YouTube, which I'm very happy about. You know,
there are some YouTube callers I could tell because of the editing I do on the show. Like there's some things that I forget what specifically it was that I'd cut out, mostly for time, and it was just something. But I knew I'd cut it out, and I heard the question on the call, and I said, "Oh wow, this is coming from YouTube. This isn't from the podcast." So,
I love it.
There are still little subtle differences in the show. I'm still looking for the super fan that listens to both shows.
Some
Watches
people
want to
do.
listen. Oh, they have. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I want to know what their point of view is. Like, do they notice the change? Do they say, "Yeah, the audio is a lot quicker when we do it versus the video"? Because I agree with you. I think this long form of talking in video, once you get sucked in, probably works a little bit better, but it doesn't work for audio. You really can't. You got to keep people's attention with audio. So
anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have broken up again. And you know what? If anything, what happened last week is also a good reminder to reset for me. Because like, let's say you're somebody who had gastric bypass and that helps you become a different person and you've changed. But then all of a sudden you start eating the same way you used to. And then all of a sudden you are just as heavy as you used to, even though you had gastric bypass. When talking about, and it's interesting, actually Khloe Kardashian's a perfect example for this. So many people on social media are brutal with Khloe Kardashian, brutal. And then those same people are probably like, "Oh, free Britney," and everybody's so awful about Britney Spears, and yet they're being brutal about Khloe Kardashian. Mm-hmm. The hypocrisy of it all, or those same people who were upset at how
you just getting that?
Yeah.
That's what online is. It's the worst part of every human being. It's the jealousy, and it's crack to a crackhead. That's what it is. It finds the deepest, darkest place inside of people. And unfortunately, most of the people that are in this idiot box that's their mindset. They can go somewhere and they can let out this rage and this toxicity inside of them. That's what online is to me. That's what I always am talking about. It's just awful, awful people. Like, I'm sure Khloe Kardashian's a nice chick, you know what I mean?
She is.
But people take out their life on these people, and it's weird that they're willing participants in it. But
So-
you get famous off of it too. It's a yin and a yang. You're taking something from it.
So hopefully this is a good reset for everybody as well. Like even me, when I thought in the past, like doing a silly post that maybe I thought was silly and not harmful, Khloe Kardashian might have thought it was harmful. Like, oh, wow, look at this new photo of Khloe showing off a new face. That could be in her mind harmful to her. So anyways,
True.
Hopefully this is a great reminder for all of us. People don't often like to shine the light or put the mirror to their own faces. So yes, Khloe and Trystan are broken up again. What's interesting is that happened. We heard about it literally a couple of days after the second part of the 2-part reunion for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Khloe confirmed officially that she took Tristan Thompson back. And then now they're not together again. We don't really know what exactly led to this most recent breakup, although there were some reports that Tristan was at a house party recently and was allegedly possibly hooking up with multiple girls or doing something else. We don't know. That may have pushed Khloe over the edge, or by that point he might have already been single. We don't know. There are reports though, and I think this was a People magazine report, so I'm inclined to believe it, that despite everything, Khloe still wants to have more children with Tristan. I think she might have his sperm frozen or something like that, and is gonna.
Can you use someone's sperm all willy-nilly? I don't know if you can.
Well, she might have. Listen, knowing Kris Jenner, she knows how to do everything by the books. So if Khloe told mom, "Oh, I want to have more children with Tristan," and I'm sure that they had him sign. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's move on. We're speculating here.
I'm speculating, but if she were to have more kids with his sperm, he would either have. This is not speculation. He would have either had to agree to it previously in writing or agree to it now.
Right.
So I don't think she would do it without his. I don't think she could do it without his approval.
I think this is a silly story.
Anyways, well, she wants to have more of his kids. What I was getting at was, this is not a silly story. This is a question.
Well, no, I just meant our speculation part of it. But
all right,
go ahead.
fine.
What's your question?
The question for our viewers and listeners is, if you are Khloe, would you have more children with Tristan, even if you're not together with him? I would say if she wants to, that must mean that she's got a good co-parenting situation with him, and she's seen how it's worked well with her sister Courtney and Scott Disick. So why not?
Yeah. And, maybe you want the siblings to have biological parents that are identical,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know why, but you know what I mean? Like, it could be that as well. Like,
I'll
don't
tell you
screw
why.
with the formula that works.
That was important to me when I had kids. My kids have my sperm and the same egg donor. That was important to me. So yeah, it was Khloe's birthday over the weekend. Happy birthday to her. She just turned 37. It's crazy how we're all just getting older. It's so crazy how I'm like closer now to 44. Like, how did that happen? Literally just the other day, I was celebrating my 40th birthday in Vegas and you were there, and now I'm about to turn 44. Like,
it doesn't stop.
It's just, how does that, I don't know. It's just shocking to me.
It starts from day 30, I think, or birthday 30. Birthday 30, it just seems like since then, it's just foot to the pedal
Not
to
for
the metal.
me. For me, it really was when I had kids.
It was 30 for me.
34 for me. After 34, it's like, whoa, now I'm going to be 44. It's like a decade.
Hang on. Yeah. Decades just clip by now.
So, yeah, not shocking to me. Chris Brown allegedly hit a woman at his home.
Come on. Really? I didn't hear this.
You didn't hear that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't know if it's somebody he's dating. There's not too many details, probably because it's a domestic situation.
So police were
involved, and the police are investigating this. And I think the LA Times did it was the LA Times or some other organization, did an op-ed about like, why is Chris Brown not canceled? But I'll tell you why, because he still has an audience. Simple as that. Same with, as I've said, before, with Bill Cosby. If Bill Cosby were to be released from jail tomorrow, even though he's a convicted RAP word, if he wanted to do a stand-up comedy tour, people would go see him. So that's why Chris Brown's not canceled. He's still got an audience. In other legal matters, Drake Bell, the former Nickelodeon actor, has pled guilty to child endangerment after an incident involving a 15-year-old girl. He is facing anywhere from 6 to 18 months in prison. And let's just keep it moving. In other legal news, the baby mama for Jersey Shore star Ronnie Ortiz Magro, Jen Harley, has been arrested for domestic battery and assault with a deadly weapon. That weapon being a gun. She reportedly held a gun and threatened her boyfriend. And this dude, Ronnie, they're not together anymore. She lives in Vegas. He lives in LA. He's had his own issues with violence and his girlfriend. I hope for the future and sake of their daughter that these two people both separately work through their real hardcore issues. Because, God, last week, if you remember from our podcast last week, I was already pretty down. And one of the reasons why was because my daughter, I don't think I told you this, but this triggered me into depression. Not what happened last week. What triggered me into depression was I was looking at all of the work that my daughter Mia made at school this past year, because the school year recently ended, and they bring home all of their projects, their journals, the things they created, they drew, they painted. And I saw this one thing that Mia wrote that said one of her favorite things to do is play with dad. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, and then she said, it looks at me and she's like, but you don't play with me enough. And it's not funny
I'm laughing uncomfortably actually, but it's sweet. It is sweet.
That sent me into a depression, like a real, I'm like, I'm the worst father. Like oh my God. Like anyways, so I snapped out of it and I realized, all right, my kids know I love them. I do play with my kids, and my kids know I want to play. I enjoy playing with them, and I want to play with them even more. They know all of that.
Right.
Think of this poor young girl. Kids pick up and hear and are affected by everything that the parents do. So I just hope for their daughter's sake that whatever issues they're struggling with, that, they get it in check, because they're not young anymore. These two are in their 30s. I mean, it's still young, but they're not kids,
Yeah, clean it up.
She also used the N-word allegedly. saying, I'll shoot you N-word and I'll kill you right blanking now. She even cocked the gun, according to reports. Oh my God. Anyways, speaking of Ronnie Ortiz, he announced that he's engaged to his girlfriend, the one that he got into all that drama with. So congratulations to them.
You two winners.
I know. All right. Still more to get to, but do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it could be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. All right. An update on Chrissy Teigen. She, I think, might have listened to our show and listened to our advice, because she has been posting on Instagram and she has returned somewhat to social media. So good on you. And I'm happy that she's got a husband to help her through this all. That would have been nice for me last week. Like my mom.
You wouldn't have had time for your husband. You would have disappeared into your hole and you would have continued to do this. I know this. You wouldn't have taken a time out.
But he might have forced me to take a time out, and that would have been, and then I would have thanked him for it.
You wouldn't have let him do it. You would have said, I have too much work. This is my work. It's important.
Anyways,
I know how that movie plays out.
All right, on to one of my favorite news segments of our show, old people news.
How dare you?
I love old people news because it makes me feel young again. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like seeing other people. I've said this before. Like, I don't take joy out of old people suffering or being stupid or whatever, but like I do make mistakes and I go through stuff. So it's relatable. It makes me like, oh, you know, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody's fucking up. So Courtney Love, who's even older than you, Booker, she's in her 50s.
Damn.
I would guess she's 51.
She's gotta be, yeah.
51, I think, or 52.
I would say she's older than that. I'd put her like 53, 54.
56. Wow.
Oh, okay, there you go.
She's 56. Wow.
That's not old. Don't old shame her.
I'm not. Well, it is old. I'm old. I'm old. I own it.
Gotcha.
Anyways, this just put a smile on my face because it's so silly and so ridiculous. Olivia Rodrigo is the new hot thing right now. Mm-hmm. And she shared a photo of herself like with glam makeup crying at prom. And Courtney Love accused her of plagiarism, of copying
the cover of
Live Through This.
Live Through This, yeah.
Iconic, which, you know, she wasn't even the photographer for that.
That girl wasn't alive when it came out. That's the best part. She wasn't. That album came out 25 years ago. That girl's not 25, is she?
No, she's just turned 18, I think.
Yeah, she wasn't even alive. She probably doesn't know who Courtney Love is. I bet she's never heard of Hole.
Oh, no. Olivia commented on that post because Courtney did a whole post on Instagram, and Olivia said, oh my God, I grew up listening to you. I love you, blah, 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 blah.
All right.
And Courtney's like, I want flowers. Send me flowers. This is rude. And she called it rude and rage inducing. But I loved it. I loved it.
The young kids are always going to be behind us, and they're always going to do what's been done before.
Speaking of old people news, Madonna performed.
Didn't she have her titties out or something?
She did. And
yeah, my girl was like, you want to see Madonna's titties? And I was like, no, don't. Like, I didn't even look.
I love Madonna, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with old people getting nude. It's just, it seemed boring. Like it's lost its effectiveness. Like if you're going to be nude, then make it interesting. I don't know. But it was fun to see her perform at a club and watching that, I went in this whole looking at old Madonna concerts and to me, if you go back and watch the Blonde Ambition tour, like she was just oozing it, like everything. More old people news. Oh, I'm not going to get that much into it because there are podcasts and shows dedicated to just Bravo. Like,
yeah, totally.
Just Bravo. And our show isn't that, but this Erica Jane from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to say it. She's probably going to end up in jail. Like,
really?
Oh my God, so much insanity. This person, the bankruptcy trustee who is investigating everything in the case with her and her husband, the bankruptcy trustee claims that Erica Jane received more than $20 million in business loans from her estranged husband's law firm.
Wow.
That seems like a way to
yeah, that's a ticket to jail. You're right.
Child. And I think she either has claimed or will be claiming that she didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know my husband did that.
Yeah, right. Anyways.
Let me say this. Do you rent or own your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
All right. In more old people news, Alex Rodriguez, so much money. What, he's old?
Yeah, no, he just annoys me. Like, I was watching Sunday Night Baseball last night. The Dodgers are on, and it's just, he's become like, he just opens his mouth and I'm annoyed by him now. And he's really good at talking baseball. He really is. But he's superseded that with his annoyance. Every time he talks, I'm just like, oh, me, shut up. He just drives me nuts, dude. He makes me crazy.
Do you watch football?
Of course.
That Tony Romo's still doing coverage.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah.
He's still good, right?
He's great.
I watched some clips.
You would never, oh, dude, you would never in a million years thought, I wouldn't have never thought that guy was going to be this good. I mean, he's like the best collar guy there is. He's just a great analyst, and he's funny and he's lovable, not even likable. He's just lovable. You're like, wow, I didn't even like the Cowboys, and I love Tony Romo.
Anyways, Alex Rodriguez, so rich. He could literally be anywhere in the world for summer vacation. What does he do? He rents a summer home a mile from where Jennifer Lopez has her summer home.
Yeah, but you know what? They'll never see each other. You know, that Hamptons Row, I know it very well. They're not going to buy. First of all, those people are so rich, they don't go out. They don't leave their houses. They're never going to see each other.
But there are so many Hamptons. There are so many places in the Hamptons. He could have picked any of them.
I know, but they live on the same. There's one strip, and I know it's like Southampton. There's like one strip where all the uber famous massive dollars live, and it's just one strip. So I'm sure they live on that strip. I could see it in my head. I bet you they're just that close. Well, but I'm telling you, they're never going to see each other.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, she probably now is not going to spend any time there just to fuck with him. Anyways, A-Rod also was seen partying recently with Ben Affleck's ex-girlfriend, Lindsay Shookus. Wow. She dated Ben for about 2 years, and now he's partying with her. His publicist said, they've been longtime friends. That could be the case, but he knows how that would have been perceived. And anyways, also we're wrapping it up. Just a couple of things. I don't care if I get backlash for this.
You've taken worse over this past 2 weeks. How bad could this be? What is it?
I think this whole concept of cultural appropriation, as I've said before, is so dumb. Michael B. Jordan, who is Black, has been called out by other Black people because he came out with this rum and named it after this term or celebration from Trinidad and Tobago, even though he doesn't have any connection to Trinidad. It's called Jouvert, meaning daybreak, and it's something having to do with carnival, and people were so upset at him. Like, don't you want to see him thrive? Don't you want to see him, instead of like knocking him down? Like, I don't. Like, and why does he have to have a connection to Trinidad to do this? Like, it makes no sense to me. So that was a dumb, much ado about nothing, I would say. Sending all of the positive vibes to Mark Hoppus from Blink 182. He didn't go into detail about his diagnosis, but he revealed that he's suffering from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that it's pretty serious because he says that he's been undergoing chemotherapy for 3 months and he's got many more months ahead of him still.
Mm-hmm.
So that's intense. So sending him healing and keeping him also in our thoughts. T-Pain, he's got, I think, a podcast that's we're supposed to play an ad for on our show.
Is it auto-tuned? That's a good question. Come on.
Did you not watch that clip of T-Pain?
No.
He's part of this new show that aired on Netflix, and he revealed that this conversation that he had in 2013 with Usher set him off on a years-long depression.
Really?
Because Usher and him were on the same flight. He went to bed on the flight, and Usher requested to speak to him. And he said that Usher said, yo, man, you kind of fucked up music with auto-tune. You really fucked up music for real singers. And T-Pain said, I was like, what did I do? I came out and I used auto-tune. He was like, yeah, you fucked it up. I'm like, but I used it. I didn't tell everybody else to start using it.
Come on.
So
I mean, I guess I buy that. I mean, remember Jay-Z released Death of Auto-Tune where he proclaimed it dead because everyone was, quote, T-Paining. And so, I mean, I could see how that would, as a musician, it would upset you. And T-Pain can really sing, right? He actually has a really good voice.
Yeah. And
he just sounds cool in the auto-tune. That's all. He just thought to do it first.
And somebody who uses auto-tune as much, if not more than T-Pain, is Kanye. Like, not at the beginning of his career, but later on, he's like all auto-tune all the time.
Remember, I mean, that was in vogue for a good couple of years where every single song was so like to the point where Jay-Z had to write Death of Auto-Tune because it was just everybody was doing it too much and it just got out of control, but it kept working because it sounded cool. But you couldn't do it now. You'd be like, is this a throwback?
Anyways, that's an interesting thing. Like it just how one conversation can really set somebody off.
From someone you respect, of course. I mean, that would suck somebody that you really look up to.
You thought they were he thought they were friends.
Yeah, I mean, someone and maybe he was goofing. You know what I mean? Like maybe he wasn't being that serious either, because it is funny to kind of say that. Like, hey man, you killed music with all this auto-tune. Everybody's just auto-tuning now, and that's the expectation. But hush up, Usher. I mean, come on, he's had his day in the sun. Usher's great. I'm
surprised Usher has not apologized, though. He's kept real quiet over this since that story broke.
Yeah, it's his point of view.
Speaking of apologies, Billie Eilish did apologize for lip syncing to an Asian slur. We talked about that last week. She apologized. She also said that, people misperceived what she was doing in another little part of the video. She was just speaking gibberish, which is something that she's always done. She was not mocking people. Anyways, if you're more interested in what she had to say, you could see her full apology. It's out there. Quickly, Miley Cyrus. Fuck, man. Miley Cyrus needs to play Madonna in the Madonna biopic that Madonna's directing herself. I don't think anybody else could do it. Miley needs to do it. Miley also released this special for the Peacock. I don't have Peacock, but I watched so many clips. Miley is so fucking talented.
It's ridiculous.
She's so, and I hope,
her game is so much ahead of everybody else.
I pray though, I'm concerned. I hope she works with a voice coach and really takes care of her voice, because I want her to keep being able to perform and sing as well as she does for many, many decades to come. So check out that special if you have Peacock. So good. Also, our music segment, really briefly. Holy, thank you, damn.
I already
Ed
know where you're
Sheeran.
going with this. It's so goddamn good.
Oh,
It's the best song I've heard in, I don't know, a year.
Bad
I would
Habits.
say it's so good.
Bad Habits.
But you know the thing about it, and I was telling, we were
Yeah,
texting, or maybe
it
we didn't
sounds
talk
like
about
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, but not that it sounds like Justin Bieber. It just doesn't sound like Ed Sheeran.
I love that though. Don't you love that?
No,
He's
it's fine.
trying
And like,
something different.
It's not a criticism. It's more of just something I picked up on listening to it. I'm just like, vocally, if you played it for me and didn't tell me it was Ed Sheeran, I'm not sure I would have ever guessed that it's Ed Sheeran.
It doesn't sound like him.
It doesn't sound like him.
It doesn't.
But I don't care. It's great.
And it doesn't look like him. Like in the video, like I love that. He's evolving. He's trying different things. Like it's exciting to me.
It is. Me too. Great song.
Doja Cat released a new song with Ariana Grande. Her new album dropped. The song's called I Don't Do Drugs. It's fine. Have you heard it?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Not bad. It's pleasant. I like it. But when I have like a power collab, I want like a power song, you know? I want like not a banger, but just something like wow. I want a wow. And that was not a wow song. Congratulations to Cardi B. She's pregnant with her second child. Revealed the news while performing at the BET Awards on Sunday night. Mazel. Also, Lil Nas X. He kind of did what he did at the Saturday Night Live performance where he kissed one of his male dancers, but doing that at the BET Awards, that felt really powerful to me and important, and I loved it, and it just was awesome. So I love seeing him thrive and be unapologetically himself. Like the times have changed. Very quickly, also speaking of gay, congratulations to Carl Nassib, this Raiders DE. What does DE stand for?
Defensive end.
Oh,
you would have never got to that one.
Oh, God. This Raiders player has become the first actively playing NFL player to be openly gay. Mm-hmm. And I could not help but think of Colton Underwood, because it's not like a competition. It's not like who can come out better or whatever. But this guy came out and he made a $100,000 donation to the Trevor Project, which is a suicide prevention organization for LGBTQ youth. And then on the flip side, Colton Underwood had lied to all these people and was allegedly abusive to his ex-girlfriend and didn't donate.
Why you gotta shit on somebody else? Just report the good moment. You're such a bitchy gay. You really are. You're just the bitchiest gay of all time. Wrap it up. Come on. Rude. I want to say something to the point. I know it is rude, but fuck it, because we've been going forever. All right. His jersey is now the #1 selling jersey in the NFL.
I was going to say that. Yes.
That is fucking awesome.
Not only did his coming out not hurt his career, I think it actually helped him. So that was awesome. And finally, speaking of The Bachelor, Wells Adams.
Wells, yes.
He is going to be featured in an expanded role for Bachelor in Paradise this summer. So I think his people are really angling and trying to get him to be the replacement for Chris Harrison.
It just makes sense because when he was on, he's got a radio background, and when he was on, and I only watched that, Herpes on a fucking Island like 4 times, but he was on it, and I was like, why don't they just let him host it? Because he does a good job. He really does. He's very natural and just talks to the people. So I actually figured that they would probably incorporate him more, seeing as he comes from Bachelor Nation. So it's cool.
My bad habits. All right, let's do it.
Hi, Perez. Hi, Booker. I'm going to stay nameless, but I'm from the Midwest. I just wanted to comment on the topic of children's skin tones and features and why it can be controversial. I'm a mixed race person, and unfortunately, because of white supremacy and colorism, there can be a lot of fetishization of what children's features look like, especially if it's a black, white, or just darker skin tone white mix. And that just goes back to centuries of just slavery and colorism and issues, and it can really dehumanize kids. And I know I grew up feeling like a science project. Oh, do you look like this from your dad and this from your mom? So really quick, just wanted to say that in the multiracial community, it can be really hard and dehumanizing when people obsess about what kids look like. And there can be negative connotations if kids look blacker than their white parents. So just wanted to say that. Thank you so much. Love your show. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you. I mean, there's so many, there's parallels in other ways too. Like, we saw recently that controversy with the In the Heights movie where, there were all these Latino actors, but then certain darker skinned Latinos were upset that there were no dark skinned, Afro Latinos in any of the lead roles. Anyways.
Yeah, it's rough.
Hey, it's Monica calling from Atlanta, longtime listener.
Thank you.
Listen, so Booker, you were talking about the royals and how they discussed baby Archie's skin color, and you're like, oh, not a big deal, very benign conversation. I talk about it all the time with my girlfriend. But what you're forgetting is that these are royals, first of all, and they also have a commonwealth of mostly people of color. All their colonials, all of those people are brown and black. So when they're asking about his skin color, it's not just, I wonder what the little cutie is going to look like. It's like, is he going to look like one of us, or is he going to look like one of the people that we've colonized? So it is a very significant conversation. Don't speak on these matters if you don't have any idea about the history of what the fuck you're talking about. I love you, bro, but you really are just an ignorant white man on this one. All right. God bless.
I love that call. I marked that call to play. First of all, this is how I'll answer that. What I said, and maybe you should go back and listen to it a little closer. I said this very key word, or maybe, which Perez repeated the word that I said, or maybe, and he said, you're right. All I did was offer a different perspective. I never once said they think this. There was never any fact based in what I said. I said what I was insinuating was, do not throw a cover of everyone is racist just because their family used to be or whatever. That's unfair. It's patently unfair when you don't know somebody. So I said, we don't know what the conversations were. And that's all that I was saying. I'm not even going to disagree with any of the things she says. She's right. She's right about all that stuff. But I just said, or maybe. And we were talking about a very specific situation.
I just had
by the way, she called afterwards. I don't know if I'm going to have it, but she called and apologized after that call.
I had like a bomb go off in my head, like a thought bomb that now I'm going to be obsessing over. I wonder what it must be like if you're somebody in the South and you knew that, 100 years ago, your family used to own slaves. If you're a descendant of slave owners, what is that like?
What's it feel like? Yeah.
Or are people, because I bet you there are probably people who are angry in this day and age if they find out, oh, your ancestor used to be a slave owner, you're trash.
Well, I just think putting anybody in any bucket when you don't know anything about them is silly. And I think that's the kind of points that I always try to make. Back to exactly what you said and to this call. And for example, I don't know, nor does anyone else know what's in somebody else's heart. And when you make assumptions that people are a certain way that you don't know, I kind of feel like we're not getting anywhere. This isn't evolving a conversation. It's more of, I hear more anger than I hear solution. That's kind of how I see that. So think what you will, I probably am a stupid white guy.
Probably.
Okay, it's a fact.
Katie in Orlando, and I just wanted to call to say that I support Perez. I know he's been getting so much hate from people, but Perez has apologized time and time again for his role in Britney's situation, and he's made amends with her. I don't understand the people that are constantly hating on Perez about it still. He has made amends. He has grown so much, and it's just really inspiring. So Perez, I know that there's a lot of hate out there, but there's a lot of love too. So
there you go. How about that? You feel better now?
Yes, that is wonderful to hear. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
That sounds like a great way to end it.
You want to cut it? Well, I have so many calls, but
Oh,
we can.
all right,
Let's wrap it up.
we can keep going if you want to.
Let's play one more.
All
I just feel so badly
well,
because
okay.
there's
I've
so
got
many
time.
points of view.
You can keep
I really
going.
don't, but we're an hour and a half now. You got to be kidding me. Here we go.
Hey, Perez and Booker. My name's Francis. I'm from Miami. Perez, I think my mom still lives by like a couple blocks from where you grew up. So I love you, love you.
Aww.
I just want to say, Booker, that
I love her
you're
accent.
absolutely fucking right about Florida. And thank you for saying that. Okay? The water's warm, but every time you go out, you want to fucking like combust because the humidity, no one leaves their house. No one leaves AC down here. And this is hell. Thank you for saying that. Also, just a quick thing about Britney. I'm all about it, man, and I love that power, and I want her to get free. But a part of me is kind of like, what if the boyfriend's manipulating her? You know, I don't know. I hope it's real, and I hope she's good. But love you guys. Bye.
I love her.
I just saw this thing very briefly that got me excited. I love artists trying different things. Halsey just announced her new album, and she did it by putting up a billboard somewhere. And at the bottom, it says, check this out, produced by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Wow.
I expect something very different from her.
Badass. Nice.
Yeah.
That will be good. That's good. All right. One more.
All right.
Hi, Perez and Booker. It's Amanda from San Diego. I just wanted to make a comment about the Call Her Daddy making 65 million, whatever the numbers
60 million.
I'm all about women empowerment and good for them, but I am surprised at the numbers for that show because it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not a straight edge. I love a good sex joke, but they're really hardcore. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
I like hardcore.
Yeah. There's an audience for it, clearly.
All right. Is there anything else you think that our listeners and viewers want or need to hear from me? Any other question left unanswered or anything like that?
I don't believe so. I think you covered it all.
All right. Thank you all for watching and for listening. We will see you guys next week. If you want to call in and ask anything, 800-721-1185. Love and healing to everybody.
Take care, guys. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing.